If you value practical history and real survival knowledge, make sure you're subscribed to Battlefield of Survival and give this video a like. This channel exists for people who study how ordinary households endured extreme conditions and applied discipline, not comfort, to survive winter. Now, let's get straight to the point. How pre-industrial households used time itself as a heat source. Before central heating, warmth was managed through timing, not technology. One of the most effective household strategies was synchronizing all heat-producing activities into a narrow evening window. Cooking, washing, baking, ironing, tool repair, and even bathing were deliberately delayed until late afternoon or early evening. This concentrated heat production created a thermal buffer that carried households through the coldest hours of the night. Wood stoves, coal ranges, and hearths were not kept running all day. Fuel was just too valuable. Instead, families allowed the home to remain cool during daylight hours, and then released stored fuel energy at a precise moment. The goal was not daytime comfort, but nighttime survival. Why the evening heat window mattered more than daytime warmth. The coldest indoor temperatures historically occurred just before dawn. Households responded by ensuring that walls, floors, furniture and bedding were already warm before sleep. When cooking and washing were done close to bedtime, residual heat soaked into the structure of the home. Thick masonry, wooden beams and heavy furnishings acted as thermal mass, slowly releasing warmth overnight. This timing trick, actually worked even in homes that were poorly insulated. A room that was warmed at noon, well, it would lose its heat by midnight. But a room warmed at 7 in the evening, that heat would stick around just long enough to protect sleepers when the temperatures dropped hardest. So, how did people adjust their sleep routines to preserve heat overnight? Well, sleep schedules were aligned with this heating rhythm. Beds were prepared right after evening chores, while the house was still warm. Blankets were aired near the hearth, mattresses soaked up the ambient heat, and doors to unused rooms were closed early on to trap warmth right where people slept. Families also, delayed going to bed until the final wave of heat had been released. Conversation, mending, or just some quiet work would take place near the hearth to make the most of that shared warmth. And once everyone was in bed, layered bedding and reduced airflow made sure there was minimal heat loss until morning. So, let's talk about how you can actually use this timing method in modern winter conditions. Honestly, this approach still works today, even if you're dealing with limited heating. The trick is to run your main heat source later in the evening instead of spreading it thin all day long. Try cooking dinner using the oven rather than just quick stovetop meals. And then, if it's safe, leave the oven door cracked open after you're done. You might also want to take your showers at night to add a bit of humidity and warmth to your home. And washing dishes and doing laundry in the evening can help release a little extra heat into your living spaces. Another thing you can do is close off bedrooms during the day and only open them up once the house is properly warm. It's a good idea to prepare your beds right after the evening heating, not hours before. And if power costs are a concern, this approach actually helps reduce how much heating you need overnight, while still keeping sleeping areas warmer for longer. Now, you might be wondering why this knowledge still matters for survival and resilience. Well, this kind of timing discipline allowed households to get through winters without burning through their fuel all the time. It helped cut down on illness, preserved precious resources, and set up predictable routines when things got tough. For historians, it's a window into how domestic life was shaped by the challenges of the environment. And for survivalists, it's proof that managing heat is really about strategy, not just comfort. If practical historical knowledge like this means something to you, go ahead and subscribe to Battlefield of Survival, give the video a like, and share it with anyone else getting ready for winter. These are the lessons that really last.